there's other people out there that are trying to get at your borrowers as interest rates start coming down. And so what that means to me is that a couple things that we need to do as proactive loan officers. First of all, we have to have our database dialed in. And what does that mean? Well, it means, first of all, looking at your database, right? Just A to Z, like going through your database and making sure that all the people in there, you have as much information about them as possible, that you've, graded them as far as what is their opportunity as interest rates start to come down. What was your experience with them? Any notes that you have? A database should be, a rolodex of relationships, right? Relationships, not just people that you did a transaction for, but people that you have an ongoing relationship with. To me, that's what database management is. So if you look at your list and you go, man, I don't even know if these people would know my name if I called them. Well, I would say that would be an indicator you've not done a great job of using your database as it should be, which is to build deeper relationships with your clients. And so now might be the right time to go through that database, make sure that everything in there is organized and accurate. There's no duplicates, so on and so forth. It might also be a great time to just be touching base with people, not necessarily to offer them a refinance opportunity, but to set the stage that there may be an opportunity in the future and to clarify with them what their goals are if interest rates were to come down. So for instance, you might have a client that you closed a loan for in 2021. You might just simply reach out to them and say, hey, John, Susie, it's great to talk to you. Hope you remember me. My name's Tony. I did your mortgage back in 2021. And I hope you've been really enjoying that really low interest rate that you have. Well, actually, I guess if it was 2021, maybe they still had a pretty low rate. But my point is, maybe you call somebody who got a higher interest rate, right? Maybe this was 2022 or 2023. Same call. You're saying, hey, I did your loan for you in 2023. Your interest rate was a little bit higher back then. It was around 7.25%. And we all know that interest rates have already improved from where they were, but I don't think the time is necessarily right to consider a refinance. But I wanted to talk to you and see how things are going for you with that home. How long do you guys still plan on being in that property? I want to make sure that when the right opportunity comes up, I'm reaching out to you proactively. Now, I told you when we did your mortgage that part of my job is to keep an eye on things and let you know when there's opportunity. And I don't think we're there yet, but I think it's something we should watch very closely. And I want to make sure that I've got my notes here on when would be the right time to get in touch with you as things progress. Now, a conversation like that is not directly asking for business, right? It's just getting a feel for where they're at with things. I mean, it's possible they don't even live in that house anymore, right? Great time to update your database. Or it might be that they actually could benefit from a refinance right now. They might tell you, actually, we've been looking at home equity loans or some sort of debt consolidation loan because I know rates aren't super low, but man, we're just in a really tough spot financially. So maybe there is an opportunity there. But you could also let them know that as interest rates come down, you're going to see a lot of solicitation for your business. And I want to make sure that I'm your go-to resource as you vet out those opportunities. These are easy phone calls to make, right? Because these are clients that you've done transactions with in the past. Hopefully they remember you. Hopefully they had a good experience with you. And these aren't necessarily phone calls intended to close a transaction. These are phone calls intended to update your database, take your notes, and plant the seed that there's going to be opportunity and you should wait for me to reach out to you with that opportunity, as long as you obviously intend on being proactive with that. But that's the kind of activity that I'm talking about when it comes to your database is, do you have it all in one location, not piecemealed together? Is it easily searchable? Have you gone through it and made sure that everything in there is up to date and as accurate as possible? And then I would just start calling through those people, reintroducing yourself, touching base, see how things are going, setting things up for what might be to come in the near future. So that's the first thing that I'd be looking at when it comes to getting ready for the fourth quarter.